the MAGA's base, what is the MAGA base reaction?
Violent. That's going to be a major.
There are pictures. I mean, there's lots of pictures of him with Epstein. We know they were really
well. We already know that, so
right.
that's not the issue. The issue is, what does she have that goes beyond that?
Michael, if it turns out that Ghislaine Maxwell does have compromising material on the president, and Todd Blanche advises Donald Trump to give her a pardon or commute her sentence in some way, what do you think the MAGA's base? What is the MAGA base reaction?
Violent. That's going to be a major issue. It's going to be a major issue. The choice that he will have to make is between protecting himself and dealing with the base. Somehow he's got to bring those two together. He's got to get the base to recognize that without him there is no MAGA. But this is a really complicated trick. Can he pull that off? I'm not sure.
And where is J.D. Vance in all this?
Hiding.
He's in hiding.
I mean, J.D. Vance for his own political future, cannot lose the MAGA base, but for his own political future, he cannot lose Donald Trump. Go figure.
And Mike Johnson, I suddenly saw Mike Johnson as a potential candidate today when he said, well, we have to let this play out. We need to understand it. These are heinous crimes. I suddenly thought, oh, Mike Johnson is going to run too.
Well, I think everybody's going to run. This is, there is going to be no Donald Trump. So for the first time in 10 years, more than 10 years, it's going to be a wide open Republican opportunity. So everybody is going to be in.
And the other thing that you really notice by her absence is that of Melania, that often men caught up in situations like this have a wife who's loyally standing by their side.
Well,
Melania is nowhere to be seen. Ivanka is nowhere to be seen. This must be a horrifying story for them.
Okay, well, two points. She never is by his side. All of those courtroom appearances, did she show up once? I report in my book that one of the aides approached her and she said, nice try, and then laughed. But this is probably for further food, she was very involved in this Epstein relationship. There is this model thing, but and Epstein talks about, and she's introduced by a model agent, both of whom Trump and Epstein are involved with. She's introduced to Trump that way. Epstein knows her well. Epstein says the first time Donald Trump and Melania have sex is on his airplane. So this is another complicated dimension in this. Where does she fit into the Epstein story? Where does she fit into this whole culture of models of indeterminate age?
And Ivanka and Jared are nowhere to be seen.
Never are these days.
Right. And for Rupert Murdoch, who seems, the Wall Street Journal, and conflict of interest alert here, Emma Tucker, who's the executive editor of the Wall Street Journal, is a close personal friend of mine. She's been doing a stellar job at the Wall Street Journal. But what do you think of Trump's very aggressive lawsuit against them? He's suing them for libel. They've banned them.
Well, he sues everybody. He sued the New York Times a number of times.
Of course, and he's just settled with ABC and he settled with Paramount. But
draw a distinction though, because it's important. It's important here. This is Donald Trump's playbook. You sue, and litigation for Donald Trump is not necessarily about winning in court. It's about a headline. It's about staking his virtue, moral claims. I am going to sue. He sued all his life. That's what he does. The fact that that these lawsuits against media organizations by Donald Trump are routinely tossed doesn't make any difference. And because they have two effects. They get the headline, I'm a victim, I'm wounded, and they send a chill to other organizations. In the last number of months, he's settled with two major media organizations, ABC and CBS. These were specious lawsuits that would have been dismissed if these organizations had pursued them. Instead, they settled. They settled because their parent companies had other interests before the government. They said this was a kind of, let's say it was a kind of bribe. And in fact, the settlements, $15 million in one case, $16 million in another case, goes to Donald Trump, not to the government of the United States. Now, Rupert Murdoch, who has been doing this for more than 70 years, does not settle these kinds of lawsuits, especially specious ones that he is going to win. And so I would say the purpose is for, as I said, it's to make a headline and to send a chill to other media organizations. But in Donald Trump's inimitable fashion, he recognizes a weakness here. And he has been going around saying to people, Rupert, who is 94, is going to die any minute. And his son is a weakling. His son is Lachlan Murdoch, who will take over the organization upon his father's death, and is, in any interpretation, a weakling. Would Lachlan Murdoch settle with Donald Trump? Yeah, probably immediately.
So this is a bet by Donald Trump that Rupert Murdoch will die before any kind of discovery would take place.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's win-win for him anyway. He gets the headline, gets to send the chill, even if Rupert Murdoch, many people have anticipated Rupert Murdoch's death for many years, and yet he goes on. And he may well go on long enough for this suit to be dismissed, which would happen in the next number of months, probably. But cream on top, if he dies, Lachlan might well settle, and Donald would collect.
Well, we should certainly do another episode on Donald Trump and Rupert Murdoch's relationship. But I just want to revisit one final point before we eventually meet again very soon, I hope next week, to figure out what on earth the conversation has been with Todd Blanche and Ghislaine Maxwell. But the Tulsi Gabbard of all this, too, the sudden creation or the sort of revisiting of the Russia story and the implicating of President Obama, and then Obama unusually reacting to it.
Well, Tulsi Gabbard he has treated her like he has treated his lawyers. I mean, he's really pushed her out. She did something that he didn't like. She was immediately pushed out. Everybody in the administration.
Well, over the Iranian affair.
Yes.
Right. So she said they didn't have the capabilities to make nuclear weapons.
Exactly.
And then she immediately had to backtrack on it. Do you remember that 3 weeks ago? Right.
So everybody has told her, you're toast, you're finished. You might as well just go home. And people have blanked her. I mean, I've heard about this all. Tulsi, get it.
Don't be anywhere near her.
Yeah, don't get in a photo with her.
Sell shares in Tulsi Gabbard.
And she's been desperate. This has been, Tulsi Gabbard, basically has not been able to get arrested in public life for many years, and then she's finally, sucked up to Trump. I mean, really sucked up. Got this job, and now 6 months, 7 months in, it was imperiled. So what did she do? I mean, she's smart enough to know what she had to do. She had to give Trump a headline, even if it was entirely ridiculous, and she's going to, send Barack Obama to jail. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all made up. She made it up. It's a concoction, but it saves her skin.
Well, and interestingly, it actually provoked Barack Obama's team to come out with a statement and just say this is ridiculous distraction from actually what's going on.
Right. Which seems
to have killed the story. I mean, sometimes they put out nonsense and it holds up the news agenda for a bit, but this one seemed to come and go very quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just,
I can't
what
even
can you say?
We were talking about Iran, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'd just come back from another trip. It was all about Iran. It's just extraordinary how the news cycle moves on. But on this particular story, on the Jeffrey Epstein story, it is stuck, and the MAGA base will not let it go. The
MAGA base will not let it go. Obviously, the mainstream media has picked it up, which is totally, I mean, again, a shock. Where have they been? And I think it is worth reminding people that this story of Donald Trump's close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, the Daily Beast, and I got together a week before the election and released tapes which had Jeffrey Epstein saying very specifically Donald Trump was his best friend for over a decade. And how did the media respond? Crickets. Well,
people can go back and find those stories actually on our website.
So, it has finally broken through. I think, and the media, which has been incredibly confused about this story, very reluctant, not wanting to deal with it. I think for a whole variety of reasons, which we can, at some future point, discuss in detail, because I think it's interesting. But they're forced into it now. I mean, it's front and center. It is the story.
And weirdly, the MAGA base's conspiracy theory that Jeffrey Epstein was at the center of a global cabal of elite men on both sides of the aisle, actually, for once, it's a conspiracy story which has a lot of truth in it.
Well, all conspiracy theories, well, maybe not Pizzagate.
I was going to say Pizzagate, absolutely not.
Yeah, but many conspiracy theories have an element of truth in them, but in the conspiratorial telling, the emphasis is all wrong. The conclusions are all wrong, and I think that is also probably the case in the Epstein story. But it is true that enormous numbers of influential and powerful people were gravitated to Jeffrey Epstein, were attracted to Jeffrey Epstein, found his presence really compelling. But again, it is important to remember, which the MAGA people somehow overlooked, that the person who found him most compelling for the longest period of time, who was his true friend, not just a visitor, was Donald J. Trump,
with whom he shared a wonderful secret. So, Michael, the minute you find out what Ghislaine Maxwell and Todd Blanche's conversation is about, please come back and enlighten us. And obviously we'll be watching Donald Trump's behaviour incredibly closely as he plays golf in Scotland, and we will expect you to come back and interpret what's going on inside Trump's head.
I will see you soon.